Okay, hello. We're going to get started. Welcome, everyone. I am Dawn Prawl. I have the honor and privilege of being the executive director of the Support Site Foundation and also the creator of my MACD Life podcast, award-winning podcast. Thank you for joining us. This is our first webinar of the 2025. And we really appreciate you taking the time and engaging with us. And I can already tell you, you're going to be happy you spent the time with us. I'm going to introduce Charlie Collins. Charlie is, I'm going to lob it over to Charlie. This is very informal. And we're just here to focus on helping people who are with us, people everyone who loses their vision, living with macular degeneration. Live your best life. So Charlie, you want to tell us what you've been up to lately, and then we'll roll into the content, the subject of the day.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dawn. It's great to be here. It's great to be a board member on the Support Site Foundation and your nonprofit. That's a great privilege. And it's so nice to be able to show up and share my experience with low vision, legal blindness, juvenile macular degeneration, Stargardt's disease, macular degeneration, the eye disease that I've been living with and legally blind with since age 13. I'm now 58. And it's awesome to be on the other side, to be able to talk about the tools and the mindset and the way I navigate and maximize my remaining vision. And what am I up to these days? Well, I'm a co-founder of a nonprofit that's called Thriving Blind Academy, and we help parents of children that are vision impaired. We help in high school, college, and do some coaching and mentoring, and we offer all different programs to help people maximize their journeys with vision loss. And then I also am the founder of Blind Sighted Production. So the idea of that company is helping move people from darkness to the light of, freedom from the bondage of self, where we can really focus on our true purpose and move in a direction in life that feels good. And we don't focus on the problem with being vision impaired. And I'm also a best-selling author. My book is called Tripping into the Light. And Dawn, all the years we've worked together, I think one of my deepest passions is being able to stand up on stages as a speaker, sharing my truth, my experience with the audience, as we're going to do today.
Yes, and I'm just going to comment on that for the folks that joined us. Charlie and I have a long history together. He is one of my most favorite people in the world and has changed my life and continues to do so. So our hope today is that happens to you, and that you join us because you want to know about these amazing meta glasses, which they are, and that's what we're going to focus on. But we also want you to, when you click off, and we hope you don't do that until the end, right? And you are thinking about the webinar that you just had, the time you just had with us, that you learn or know one or two things you didn't know about when you joined us, right, Charlie? That's our goal. We are both longtime crusaders and passionate advocates for vision loss, macular degeneration, etc. You all know that. So I'll get off my soapbox on that. Okay, and let's get down to business. A couple housekeeping things for folks who are with us. We do have it muted because we want to spend the time to present to you. That doesn't mean that we don't want to hear from you. We absolutely do. We want to get feedback. We want we want to engage with you. We want this to be interactive. And so we have the chat off, but you'll see at the end, we'll solicit questions and we'll have kind of a call to action. Okay, so I appreciate kind of understanding the lay of the land here for today. And I think let's get started, Charlie. How about it? You ready?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I with the folks who are with us, whether you have wet macular degeneration, dry macular degeneration, we call it MACD, and I'm going to switch over to that because it's a mouthful, right? Even for me, it's hard to say a lot of times in a row. So either you have wet, or you have dry, or you have geographic atrophy, GA, or you have both, or maybe you don't know. But that's what the framework of this conversation is about, this webinar, and how the meta glasses, how AI and the advances in technology can change your life. And this is a solution that we believe in. And by the way, they're not paying us to say this, just for the record. We are doing this because this is our mission. So Charlie,
Yes.
how do you maximize your daily vision?
Yeah. So with macular degeneration, pretty much of any form too, we all have usable eyesight. It doesn't seem that way at first, Dawn. If we get hit with later in life in 70s and 80s, and all of a sudden we see the decline coming, we're so used to having good eyesight for so many years, and then it's kind of disruptive to say the least. But I don't really remember because I've been vision impaired so long. So, but we all have, either it's peripheral, our center is starting to get harder to focus and to see detail and things like that. So what do we miss most? We miss reading print, maybe looking at mail that comes in, reading our stovetops, microwaves, things that just we've as sighted people just glance around and take in all day. So what I had to do is start learning how to maximize what remaining vision, which to me, maximizing my remaining eyesight. What part, how can I get the information into my brain and maximize that, whether it's through magnification, whether it's through on my computer using large print or speech, or if it's all the years of using optical magnifiers. So, and I pulling my hand up, and I always have to hold it close because I got to magnify it quite a bit. And over the past, about 4 years or so, AI is getting more and more introduced into obviously mainstream, but it really has a great application for vision impaired people. And and
And you're
AI
living
is,
proof, right, Charlie? That's why you
well, yeah, so is all lots of the community. I mean, I know a lot of blind, totally blind, and a lot of low vision people that are using these meta. What does that mean? Meta AI. First of all, AI is artificial intelligence. It's a collective of information connected through with all sorts of big computers that are over all the years of information out there. It collects. It's kind of like we all know what Google search is, but this takes that a thousand, no, a million times more greater. And it's doing amazing work. And how does that help people like us? Well, first of all, it gives me real time help. I don't have to go, oh, I got to write that down and then go to my low vision station, my large print computer, and I got to type all this in. No,
So
I can.
let me condense now. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Charlie, and for folks who are listening. So the important thing that you just said is it gives you immediate use, right?
Yes.
Convenient, right? On
Yeah.
the spot,
Real time.
real time. Very important. Whether people are with us are, have a large CCTV or other assistive technology, the AI in these glasses is what is the significant advancement. It's immediate,
Mhm.
right? Okay, okay, keep going. So immediate.
Pretty immediate, yeah. And I just wanted to give an idea of like I use a desktop CCTV still. I use a optical pocket magnifier still. I use bump dots on my things, and I know my MacD life. I know you share about all this, and heck, that's what we did for years, going traveling all around the United States. We brought this information in live seminars all over the country. It was a lot of fun too, but so there's not one tool that does everything, but this new tool
Here we
that is
go.
mounted on our is a pair of glasses. We're all used to that. And what is the key to a lot of the success with this is simplicity.
Yeah.
So these, I know, Dawn, in the market, not the marketing, the announcement of the webinar and the picture, you saw these as sunglasses.
They're
Oh, they just
Ray-Ban brand. Yeah. I
Ray-Bans.
don't have them on, by the way, folks. These are just my readers. But see, they're cool, right?
No, I
They're
just put
cool.
them on. They look like normal glasses. Mine, if you cannot see, they're clear. Why? Because I prefer the transition lens. What does that mean? That means as I step outside and the bright sun hits them, they slowly darken. But what's beautiful about them, and this is before the AI part, I actually wear these without even turning them on sometimes
Because you
as
look so
just
cool, or why?
my, I'm sorry?
Because you look so cool, or what?
Definitely not. Uh, because the tint they go to is a bluish, but it actually heightens contrast for me. It knocks out the ultraviolet, the stuff that hurts my eyes, and it gives me the
Hmm.
ability to see more clearly almost. I actually love the tint that these produce. So
That's
that
a
was a
good
big
tidbit of
win.
information, by the way, for people. You can wear
Yeah.
them all the time and not turn them on, and they protect your eyes.
Yep. Yep. And that was a big win because I hadn't even turned them on. And then once I turned them on, the game really changed. Because first of all, in the box, you get uh, these glasses and you get to choose your frame, your tint, all sorts of options, okay? And those are mine cost maybe $50 more than the other ones because I want to transition. And then they
Just
come
like
in.
eyeglasses, we're all familiar with a lot of picking out frames, going to picking out coding, all that. It's very similar, it sounds like, correct?
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah, but it's all done online. But I wouldn't be surprised if optometry shops are carrying these. I don't know.
Right.
Done. And Ray-Ban is, I'm holding up the case of there. This Ray-Ban case is very Ray-Ban,
Yeah,
as it's their case. You see this, people have
that's
Ray-Bans.
right. Wayfarers. I had got those in the 80s. The Wayfarers
Yes.
they're known for, right?
And on the front of this, there's a little light that's on because this case charges. So
Wow.
when I take the glasses off and I drop them in here, it recharges them back up automatically. Yes, it has a little plug that you just plug in to an existing cable you have in the house, a USB-C cable, anywhere I want to put them, and they charge back up. But I can get like
Genius. That's genius.
it is. I can get 20 plus charges out of this case without ever plugging it in. So that's a big win because it's simple. When I drop them in the case, it automatically charges them. So I don't have to always, oh, I got to plug them in. I got to plug them in. Because we all know if we use cell phones, darn it, I forgot to plug it in. But we want to protect these. So by putting them in the case, it protects them. So when you turn these on, I got some noise in my ears. Now, on these, it's I well, I can't really explain, but In the arm that goes over the ear are speakers. And bone conduction is there's a lot of headsets that they call them open ear. And why is that? For me, it's important. As I walk outside on sidewalks and cross streets, I don't want to wear the kind of headphones that block my hearing because I see through my hearing. It helps me get familiar with my environment. If I hear dogs or cars or things, since my eyes don't work, remember, I'm maximizing my remaining vision. So I use my hearing and I use open ear headphones. So it's bone conduction. That's how these work. You put them on, I can hear all around me, but at the same time, I can listen to audiobooks. I can listen to Spotify. And what I'm saying is I can listen to music, I can listen to people audiobooks. If I'm walking the dog with these on and I get a call, it rings and I tap the side, I say hello. And as I'm walking with the dog, now I'm talking to my daughter, my wife, my dad, and I'm making a phone call. They have microphones built in. I
Charlie,
don't see.
can I interject for a second? Because so we're soaking this in, all of us who are on this webinar, I'm sure. And to just get you so I want to just recap for a second because it's a lot. I mean, it's actually mind blowing, right? That what you're saying is possible for visually impaired, right? How many times do in the past have people said, and maybe folks on the webinar have been thinking this, and that's why they're with us, is I need some kind of wearable, some kind of assistive technology that looks like sunglasses, right? That looks like sunglasses where I can walk around and have freedom and not be, not be obvious, right? So you just said, just to back up, you're walking around with with the meta glasses on, right? And you can see better, correct?
No.
Okay.
I cannot. I can, well, when the tint, it helps heighten the contrast, but it doesn't magnify. But yes, it does, but not, I think, in the sense of, hey, I put on these and now I can drive. Hey, I put on these and now I can just sit and comfortably read a book through my eyeballs. No.
Okay,
But
good.
but it gets way better because I'm telling you before the AI, they are your now phone. If you receive a text in your phone, it reads it to me automatically while I'm walking. And then I can reply to that while I'm walking. So I don't have to pull out my phone and look at it. I don't have to
Mhm.
magnify. I don't have to get frustrated. My phone's in my pocket or in my jacket. And now excuse me, my AI meta glasses are interacting with it for me. So that is a huge win. I haven't even activated the AI yet. I mean, I haven't shared about me activating it. So I'm out on my first walk with them, and my dog was pulling a little. And I said, well, I didn't say anything. I thought, I wonder what he sees that I don't. So I asked the glasses, you say, hey, Meta, what time is it? Thank you. It told me the time. But if you say what I said, it activates them every time. So I don't want to keep
Like
saying that.
Siri. Some folks are
But
familiar with Siri or familiar with uh
Alexa, Google, all of
yes.
them,
So it's
same
voice act,
principle.
right.
Yep, you can get it fired up. Just you don't have to touch, play with anything. You just talk to them. So I asked, are there any people or dogs in front of me? And it said, yes. About 100 feet in front of you is two people walking with a dog. I'm like, are you kidding me? I would not have known that until we were right there. So it allowed me to pull the dog in, put him next to my side, and continue. But it didn't turn into a problem.
So if
And
you live
I'm like,
if you live in a retirement community, for example, because I
yes,
should see my Jane my friend Jane just joined us, and I know she lives in a retirement community. So if you're walking to dinner, if you're walking to the dining room, walking to dinner, headed to dinner, you can say, how many people are in front of me? Or you can ask, you can, right?
Yes.
Right.
You could
How,
ask how many people, if there's something on the wall, they put up a couple of new flyers with information. You could ask it or read it word for word to you. If you're sitting in there, there's a presentation, or you're sitting at the table and there's poster. I was in the doctor's office and I have no idea. There's posters on the wall, and I went in the waiting room, wherever the doctor comes in. There's all sort. I just started asking it, and I was amazed. I'm like, I had no idea what the print said on these. It also can describe what it sees. So it's a picture of a young girl holding a flower. It's mind blowing. So I can walk, look around. There was a sign in a lawn. What does that say? What number house is this? What are you doing? Hey, what kind of tree is that? How do I best take care of that? So I almost walk now and talk. People probably think I'm cuckoo, but I am actually learning, Dawn. Dawn, you can ask it, what kind of shrub is that? It tells me.
it
And
tells you the
where is that?
species?
What was that?
Does it tell you the species?
Yes.
Wow.
Tells me, I asked it what kind of dog I have. It told me. It told me about it, how much weight it usually should be, what's the best foods for it, everything. And then, but what I love about these is that it gives me a snapshot. And then I can then say, tell me more. And well, what
Mm.
about that? So, Dawn, we were at like a little gathering at a watch factory. It's a bunch of stores in our town. And they had those trucks parked, well, all different trucks serving different
Food
foods,
trucks? Hmm.
food trucks. And one had a handwritten board, one had a digital one that looked like handwriting that was all backlit. It was terrible. And I said, and I was with my wife, who said, would you like me to read you the menu? And I said, no, thank you. I said, hey, Meta,
Independence. Independence, folks.
big
Although it's okay
time.
to ask for help, this is a good
And
example.
all I did, Don, was say, hey, can you give me an overview of this handwritten menu? And it did. It does read handwriting, printed material,
Something
not
other accessibility and assistive technology previously
struggles.
could not do.
Right. Right. So it did. It said, well, it has a bunch of chicken, this and that, and the prices range from $8 to $22. And I said, "Now, would you just read me the chicken dishes? Just the chicken. I didn't have to hear anything else. Can you just read me the wraps? Only the wraps. I go over to the next truck. And this one I said it's never going to do because it's horrible. Backlit and digitally, it nailed it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Don, remember in the day we had optical character recognition. And all
OCR.
that was it looked at printed material and it put it through a computer processor locally, which means on your computer, and then it did its best to convert it to spoken words. That's gone. This does it. It goes out to the world of artificial intelligence. I don't know how, and I don't need to know
We
how.
don't need to
But
know. That's right. Well, we can't.
when I ask it, Dawn, within a few seconds, it comes back. Here's a book.
Okay, I
Okay.
want people to understand. So here's a really important thing. So it's about doing the things that you love, that are more challenging for you. Everyone, my friend Jane, Teresa, Sandy, folks on this webinar understand this, I'm sure, because it's central vision, it's reading, it's hobbies, it's Sudoku, it's crosswords, and it's also social. So now your whole world has opened up because you can't take your big CCTV to breakfast with your family, right? It's not going to work that way. But we have transitioned from, in just a short amount of time with these meta glasses, to a huge amount of independence and freedom for low vision sight impaired folks. And Charlie, I think if we can move on from the amazing, mind-blowing things that you can do with it, I want you to talk about, and again, we've got folks muted, but I want you to talk about, so that's a lot to take in when you're at the restaurant or you're at the food trucks or you're, doing your thing, shop, whatever you're doing. It's a lot of information to take in while you're there, right? Your brain, right? So how do you adjust to it? Do you find yourself stopping and listening to what it's saying? Like, how do you take all that in? Are you constantly asking it things and it's telling you as you're moving around? I mean, it's a lot. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I only activate it when when I want to read this book. I don't want to go to a CCTV and I just do it and it reads me the whole page. And then that's it. It won't read me the whole book. It'll only do what I
Page at
ask
a
it.
time. Mhm.
If I'm in a store, it doesn't tell me I pick up a product and it will read me the back of the product in perfect detail.
So it's
So I
task
know
oriented still. And if
it's
you don't
task
say
oriented.
anything, then you're just, then no information's coming into you. It's not
So
telling you anything unless you ask it, correct?
no, it doesn't talk unless I activate it.
There you go.
And how do I know it's for me it's not even close to an overload. Learning certain devices are overload. I only tell you to do something and I'm talking to my glasses when I want you to. Otherwise, don't talk. And or don't make me have to read an encyclopedia to learn how to use you. I don't know how to use it. I didn't read a darn thing. I put him on and started talking. I said, "What can I do with you?" And it told me what it could do. I said, "Hey, how would I water this?" And it says, "This is how you would water this." And then I don't need its help. So, Dawn, it's not overwhelming
Okay.
because when I go into a store and I got to use a credit card machine, I ask it, "What's on that screen?" It tells me. Before I give you my money, I want to know. I used to ask the clerk, "Can you just confirm the right amounts?" I don't want to anymore. So, how do I know when to use these? When my low vision, my legal blindness is a barrier for me to move forward.
Very
And now,
good.
and that's when I activate them. Sometimes I've been in a coffee store. I said, "Just read me what blueberry muffins you have." And it read the two muffins they had, not the 400 things on the board.
So
That's the beauty.
let's pause for a second there because I want to give people a chance to take that in. That's very important, no matter where you're at in your low vision journey, whether you're just diagnosed with macular degeneration or and losing your vision, whether you've been, living with the gradual progression and of your sight and it's things are becoming more and more difficult that used to be easier. So what you're telling us is these meta glasses. And by the way, Charlie, I think we need to get the elephant in the room is, if people don't know, how much do they cost?
Well, I bought these on Black Friday for $242, but I think they're anywhere from the mid twos to the mid threes. That's it, hundred, not thousands.
Right. That is incredible.
Uh, and Dawn, here's another incredible thing. These were not produced, made. There were no focus groups. Had nothing to do with vision impairment.
Right.
Meta, which is Facebook, which is the meta universe, which
Right.
is, they're doing a lot of things, Facebook, Instagram, and all that. That company is now called Meta. Meta partnered with Ray-Ban.
Right.
And Meta said, "We'd like to put in AI and camera and make these glasses for content creators, for people that just want to have AI at their fingertips. They don't have to pull out a phone or they want access to information to help
Hands
them on
free. Hands free. Mhm.
and then the blindness people, me, and
Us.
different people I always like to know what new technology. And I went, oh my gosh, these glasses, I could use those. Not marketed to us at all. Never was brought into our
Ray-Ban didn't
industry.
think of it. They did not think of it.
Well, what's beautiful is that mainstream is starting to build things,
Yeah.
as in the Alexas, the Googles, the Siris, that are helpful for sighted and extremely helpful for people like me and those who are watching this. So then now Meta has, so I took a picture just now. I can ask it to take a picture. I can ask it to record video if I wanted to. Now, why is that important to take a picture? Well, I can save it. I could take a picture of a business card and have it read it to me. I mean, Dawn, basically anything you can think of that you need help to see, to process, to learn more about, they're right here. I mean, they're just this simple pair of glasses. Now, they need to be connected to your cell phone.
Would you talk
And
about that? Because I think, look, everyone has a smartphone. And I want to make sure that folks who have joined us understand, and it's on our list here. And I'm gonna tell a little story to lead up to this. It's about accessing the device and about training. Okay, just to touch on that. We've got time check here. It's 11:35. So I was at an event for low vision, and one of our friends of the Support Site Foundation, because we are family, right? Um, was sitting next to me at lunch. We had a lunch break, and he has told me multiple times that doesn't do well with technology, but he's really committed, and he's younger, literally, he's not, and he's really committed though to embracing technology and bringing it into his life. So I said to him, I said, have you tried the Meta glasses? He said no. He was intimidated by the fact that it was technology, it was AI. It was fear of, how do I do it? I don't know a whole lot about this, but he had an iPhone, right? And later, at the end of that event, there was a person there who had the Meta glasses, and he had the courage to embrace it and put them on. Tried them that a few hours later, and realized, and I hope people can really take this to heart, realize that this is not scary.
no,
I can do this. I don't know, right? This is not scary. This is going to change my life. And so can you talk about how easy it is to access all the features, all of what these glasses do?
sure. So I downloaded the app. If you don't know how to do that, somebody can do it for
Your
you.
grandkids, your what? Yeah, easy. Right.
And the nice thing is, Dawn, I don't have to be in the app. I don't have to learn anything in an app. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't look at it. I don't care because they made it so you download the app, and the only reason you do that is to connect it. That's it. And then I don't. I mean, my phone's right here.
Do you have to have your
Flat.
phone with you when you have the glasses on?
No, you do not. You will not. So artificial intelligence is not stored on your computer, on your phone, or in these
Like the other
glasses.
wearables that were prior to this phase. Yeah.
Right. So yes, you do need to have access to your phone to collect information.
Mhm.
But without, I could bring an iPod, I could bring a listening device and just have it playing in here. I could take pictures like a camera with these. I mean, I've gotten great pictures and stuff I can then, I know that's getting a little heavy, but you can
You can do
put it in
that
a
next
library.
time. You can do that in a
Yeah,
number of
yeah.
webinars.
So let me just say, I sat at dinner with this same individual who I took him, we all know those portable video magnifiers. If you don't, it's just a little
The
screen and
rubies or
a
the,
camera.
right.
Yeah, and they magnify print. Now that to me,
Folks may
that's
have those, right, right.
yeah, but okay. And I used those in the past at times, but and I was at dinner with that individual, and he broke out his machine, thinking he's so cool, and I slipped on my meta glasses, and he had the menu, and he had so the head bent down, and he's trying to
And you're not
find
making
things.
fun of him, you're just saying, right?
That's what I do. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I'll make fun of him too if I need to, but I'm not going to. So anyway, I held up the menu and I said, "Hey, Meta, could you read me the steak dishes?" Now it's going to get confused because it activated. It's going to say, "I don't see any steak dishes." But anyway, so he's doing this. He said, "Do you have a menu you want me to look at or a specific restaurant I can look up and tell you the steak dishes?"
Medicine, the glasses said that to you.
They just said that to me.
Oh,
They. I have mine speaking as a male. You can do female voices, you can
yeah.
do movie
Whatever you're
star.
comfortable with. Right,
You
right.
can really get crazy. But let me just tell you, I said that as he's going, and he looked over at me and he's like, "I got to get those." So I said, "Try it for yourself." I know he also tried it earlier in the day. He put them on. No idea. He doesn't even know how to download an app on a phone. Okay. So you're not alone. If that's you, that's fine. And I said, "Can you say what I say? I want you to say." So I said it. Then he said it. And I saw a jaw drop and eyes brighten like, "Are you kidding me?" It just, I watched the transformation in 30 seconds,
So
Dawn.
let's hope
That's how he
everyone who's
works.
joined us is gonna is is will experience that for sure after this webinar. What we're trying to do here is help you better do what Support Site Foundation and My MACD Life does best. It's our mission to help you understand all the options out there, things that are available to transform your life to so you can live your best life with your
Mhm.
vision loss, but most importantly, the independence and the courage, right? And the take the fear away of this. And for $200 or $300, everyone, and again, I'm not hawking these. We're just saying this the price point, you can't go wrong. And if you want to learn how to use them, we can help you with that. We can do other webinars, we can do things like that. But this is self motivating. This is a self starting, right? You can get them on Amazon. Just type it in your computer on your phone, right, Charlie?
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it's
Yes.
it's so so and take away the excuse, I'm going to call it, of where people live in a place sometimes where they just don't know and there's nothing that they can get that's going to help them. And the answer to that is yes, there is,
Well,
right?
Don, you said something important. I don't know. I didn't know how to use them. I didn't know what was, but I saw what they could do for me and I started seeing it more clearly in my mind's eye. And if you can talk and ask questions, you can use these. I
I
mean,
think
that's
everyone
really
on this webinar can do that. Right,
well,
exactly.
that's what I mean. If you can say, and not only that, I can ask it to set up reminders, remind me to call the doctor, remind me to get that prescription filled, and then a boop boop. Hey, Charlie, you got to go pick up the bread that your wife asked you.
Remind me
Well,
there's a Support Site Foundation webinar at 11:30. Hook me up to it. What, yeah, right? Things like that. So
I
Charlie, let's
could
do a
be.
time check. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it could be the audio from me speaking could be coming I could be using that as my microphone for this webinar. So let's just say there's a simple solutions that things we want to ask it to do, to learn, to read for us. And then for those techies, there's way more.
Right,
But you don't need to know the way more. The way more isn't, these aren't limited. I can use
right,
them. Some of my tools, I only use a fraction of what's possible because that's all I need.
right. So you learn, as I've always said, you have to use it and bring it into your life first. Be patient with yourself and with the device. All right. We're going to call it the glasses. And understand that the more you live with it, the better it gets. Is that accurate?
Yes, I left the house. I got in the car, my wife and I was going somewhere, and I said, darn it. She's like, what? I said, I forgot my meta glasses.
Right. Right. So we are going to close now. I think I just thank you, Charlie.